Hello, hello, hello. My name is Amista, and I'm here to pull a little tarot to have a little chit chat, just kind of chill out, talk to some people, get caught up with some of the people I know, meet some new people, have some fun like that. Right now, I'm just clearing the cards. We will start with my favorite spread, which is what is our best manifestation advice for my YouTube viewers and myself over the next 24 hours. So be thinking about what is it that you want to manifest, whether it's something that should just take like 2 minutes or 24 hours or longer. Have that fixed in your mind as you watch me shuffling these cards. Even if you're not watching live, you can still get your energy in on this. Still get your energy in on this so that you can see your best manifestation advice. Aisha, hello, hello. Welcome. What time is it where you are? You are always here. This is the second time you've been the first person in the room. Aw, thank you. I love to read. It's 12, like 12 midnight? 12 midnight where you are. Okay, so you're about 12 hours ahead of me. Are you in India? I think India is like 11 and a half or 12 and a half hours away from me, something like that. Gotcha. Well, people have told me that my voice puts them to sleep, so this may be the thing to listen to. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, let's look at our next manifestation advice over the next 24 hours. See what shows up here. Best manifestation advice over the next 24 hours. Okay, so it looks like we have some kind of opportunity coming in for whatever it is that we want to manifest. So we like this. With the King of Swords coming in after that Ace of Pentacles, this says to handle that opportunity in a very logical way, sort of think this thing through, make sure that we're using this opportunity to move us towards what it is that we want to manifest. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, this tells me that we're wanting to manifest some version of energy, whether that is energy in a relationship or financial energy or whatever. But this says that this opportunity gets us towards our goal, but it is not the final end result. So it basically is like saying rinse and repeat. So keep moving forward towards that goal, whatever that is. So take this opportunity and do what we can with it. Be very logical with it. Don't be extravagant with it. Be very logical with it and make it work for us. And then be on the lookout for the next opportunity to keep building on that energy or that momentum that we're getting going. Hello there, Teresa. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. How are you doing today? Jennifer Davis. Hello, hello, welcome. Glad you're here. How are you? Anybody who wants a reading, just go ahead and put your question in the chat or else put message from spirit, either one. And we'll just jump right into doing some readings today. How's everybody doing too? Come on in, sit your feet up on the coffee table, chill out, tell me how you're doing. Jennifer Davis. Okay, message from spirit. That's going to be the first one. Everybody else, be on the lookout for a piggyback message. Excuse me. And if you guys have questions or if you want messages from spirit, just put that in the chat. And we'll just get everybody all lined up and taken care of. By the way, guys, don't forget to put a thumbs up on this video and share it out to other people as well so that other people get a chance for a quick little reading also. All right, message of the day for Jennifer. Oh, Aisha already asked me a question. Aisha, your question's going to be next. Let me write that down. All right, Teresa, if you want a message or if you have a question, put it in the chat, honey bunny. All right, so Jen, message from Spirit. What we have showing up first is the Four of Cups. Four of Cups. If you look, the sailboat looks like it's kind of taking on some water, man. Water talks about emotions. It's definitely unbalanced there. Our emotions can be unbalanced. I usually see this as a pity party card. So this talks about this idea of not being in our best place because we're letting our emotions overwhelm us in a negative way. So not positive overwhelm with emotions, but negative. What we have showing up covering that is the 10 of Swords coming up in reverse. 10 of Swords in reverse is basically saying that there's something going on where you're being really tempted to stick in that pity party and it's not over. It ain't over, baby. So that temptation is still there, very, very strong. Okay. So, best advice or heads up around this temptation for a pity party that just doesn't seem to want to let you go. Let's see what we have. Hmm. All right. We're starting with the devil card coming up in reverse. We'd much rather have him in reverse than right side up. So, devil card in reverse says whatever this is that's putting you into pity party, whether this is a fear, anxiety, whatever this is, you want to kind of dissect that. You want to look at that and you want to ask yourself, first of all, is this reasonable? If it is reasonable, then you want to ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? Once you know the worst case scenario, what would I do if the worst case scenario happened? Huh, amazing. Now we have just shot the devil because it's not as fearful anymore. It's not as scary. The world is not going to fall apart. There's a plan. You would do something. Okay. So the first thing is face this fear that is holding you in this temptation to have a pity party. With the Ace of Swords coming up in reverse, this talks about you may recognize that to face this fear, you might need somebody's support or somebody's help. Like your plan may involve, like, hey, if so and so does such and such, do you think you can do blah, blah, blah? So this is passing along that message, asking for help, basically. And with the Nine of Cups coming up in reverse, this talks about the idea of taking the attitude and allowing it to move forward, to move up, to find some satisfaction and a self-appreciation for the idea that you've come up with a plan and it's not as bad as it could be. All right? So that's what we have. Motivation, what's your first name, honey bunny? I like to use names to connect with spirit. It definitely, yes. Full moon. We're letting go of something. Letting go of something. Looks like you're letting go of some kind of emotional fear or obsession that you've been holding on to. Okay, so let's see. Aisha had a question next. Did Teresa need something? Okay, so Teresa saying, may I have a message from Spirit regarding my health? Thank you. So here's the deal. The messages from Spirit, I don't set the topic, so you have to pick. Do you want a message from Spirit? Or do you want me to answer a specific question about your health? As long as you have the understanding that, of course, I am not a medical doctor. And I am not going to have the wording to say, have your doctor look for this diagnosis or that diagnosis. It's going to be super general if you ask me about your health, even a specific question. So I don't necessarily advise that. Those kind of questions I figure are for doctors because I'm not what I would call a medical intuitive. So you can either have a message from spirit or you can ask me a super specific question about your health. All right. So motivation wants to know, What's good coming my way with me in Smith Love Connection? Thank you. Well, are we asking a leading question there? Are we trying to tell Spirit what to tell us? Spirit, give me a good answer today. Let's not worry about what the reality is. I feel like you're at the Jeopardy table getting ready to spin, going big money, big money, big money. Here's the deal. If we're going to ask Sacred Spirit a question, we have to be open to whatever answer Sacred Spirit might give us. I'm not going to ask Sacred Spirit a question and saying, tell me only the good. Why? Because sometimes we need to know something that's not good so that we're prepared for it. We know how to handle it and we know how to make it good. So I don't like your question, basically. So if you want to ask me a question that does not lead Spirit, I'm fine with asking that, but I'm not going to ask a leading question. All right, so let's see. What else do we have going on here? Thank you for your name, by the way, though. I appreciate that, Kay. Okay, Teresa, that's a great question. Advice to improve health. And you guys will see me do this with other people's questions too. I'm very picky about what I'm going to ask because I want you guys to get the best bang for your buck. Not that you're paying here, but still, you know what I mean. So Aisha's question wants to know, is Zayed emotionally attached? Is Zayed emotionally attached to Aisha? Excuse me just a second. Excuse me. All right, so I'll be looking forward to your specific, Miss K. Is Zayed emotionally attached to Aisha right now? Wow, I just had some cards flip. We're going to take them. I think you are asking a lot to ask him to be emotionally attached, knowing that this is an arranged wedding. And you've barely met each other. Okay, so let's look at this. We have the Queen of Swords. This tells me that you're not even emotionally attached. You're very analytical about this. Don't see this as a fair question. Seven of Wands talks about the idea that you're thinking, I'm pretty vulnerable here. Chariot in reverse. You're not so sure that you really want to go forward with this wedding. Death card in reverse basically says, there's some kind of change that I need to make here, but I'm afraid to make that change because I'm afraid how it's going to impact the whole rest of my life. Sounds like a wedding. And the Eight of Cups coming up in reverse basically tells me that then you kind of start the cycle all over again about these thoughts. So I think you're really double second guessing the whole idea of the arranged marriage with this person. I think you're kind of looking for an excuse to say, oh, I'm out. This person has not really had a fair amount of time to become emotionally attached to you. And so, wow, like you're not emotionally attached to them at all. I think this is really an unfair expectation, honestly. And I think that you're afraid of this wedding and you're trying to rationalize some kind of way out of it. That's what I think. But no, he is not emotionally attached to you. You've got a lot of stuff going on. You're terrified. But no. So that answers that question. Let's see. What else are we going to look at? That was Aisha. We've already taken care of Jennifer's question. Teresa wants advice to improve her health. Okay, and then Kay has a question. Guys, don't forget to put a thumbs up on this video, please. And share this video out with others. Other people might want a reading too. I've already read for 2 people and I only have 1 thumbs up. What's up with that? What's up with that? Y'all don't appreciate it? Let's see here. Teresa, advice to improve her health. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate that. Let's see. What is Teresa's best advice to improve her health? So even before I put out cards, Teresa, cut out sugar is the first thing that I'm hearing. Cut out sugar and as many artificial sweeteners as you can is what's coming through first. What else would you like to say about that? Ooh. All right. Hello there, Jill. Welcome. Glad to see you here. So, 10 of Swords. This is cutting something out, bringing something to an end. Ace of Swords talks about thoughts, thinking. Whenever I was looking at this, what I heard is cut out trying to find the loopholes. I think that you've already been told some things that you can do to improve your health. I don't know if this is by a doctor or by a dietitian or whatever, but cut out trying to find the loopholes. And I know that I heard about sugar. I have my 9 of cups here. I don't know if this is your loophole. Alcoholic beverages, if you look at the carb and the sugar content, and carbs just turn into sugar, are very high, especially if you're doing some kind of mixed drinky type of thing. Well, all of it actually. So if you're trying to look for a loophole that allows you to keep on drinking excessively, that's not happening. And the reason I think maybe that is what Spirit's talking about is because I've got the devil right behind that, which can talk about, something that has us addicted. And so when we're addicted to something, it certainly does not hurt to get some help to get free of that addiction. But so the first part of this, which I'm taking to the bank, is quit trying to come up with loopholes for against whatever you've already been told. And I don't want to say that drinking is necessarily an issue, but there's definitely something here that's toxic that brings you a lot of satisfaction. So this could be with bringing a lot of satisfaction. This could be that you have an addiction to binge eating as well. It doesn't have to be alcohol. Either way, you've got something that is whatever's giving you the hardest time, that's probably the addictive thing. And you want to give that up and get help giving that up. Okay. So if you don't drink obsessively, then with these 2 coming out together, this could even be binge eating, especially with hearing that sugar is the issue, or at least the issue Spirit wants to talk about right now. We're eating comfort foods. So I've been on this journey, me and my body here, have been on this journey for a long time about weight and weight loss and what's ideal and how to eat and how to be healthy and all this stuff for a very long time. And one of the things that I learned whenever I did the keto diet for a while is that, and I didn't know this before, is that sugar, like whenever we think about giving up sugar, we think about giving up like the cupcakes and the cookies and, all the sweets. But also, if we eat carbs, once carbs get digested into our body, they become sugar. And so we still have to deal with that. And sugar in our body actually feeds any kind of inflammation that we have. So, like cancer cells feed on sugar, arthritis feeds on sugar, any kind of inflammation feeds on sugar. So, sugar is going to make it worse. And that includes our carbs, our breads, our pastas, all that stuff that breaks down into sugar. So just because sugar came up as an issue, I really want to just kind of share what I've learned, because I don't think, unless you really start diving in, you don't really know that, I don't think. All right, so what's next? That was Teresa. Next up, Kay had a question, and then after Kay's question, I hope I'm saying this name right, Zhao wants to know about Isabel next year. Okay. All right. So right now we're working with whose question? This is Kay's question. All right. So you feel like that's the best decision. Will you end up moving to Smith's area? Okay. Will Kay end up moving to Smith's area? Will Kay end up moving to Smith's area? Now you know, Teresa. Here's the thing. With friends who are a bad influence with sweets and desserts, have you ever noticed if you tell somebody that you're trying to eat healthy, like the next thing they do is they bring out like a box of Andes mints or whatever are your big weakness? That's one of my big weaknesses. And they try to just like give you the whole box. And then you're like, what are you thinking? Like 20 minutes ago, I told you I've tried to eat healthier. What is that? I get it, Teresa. So I went from, and maybe this is a suggestion that'll work for you. I went from sugars and carbs to straight up keto, and I went straight up keto for a while, and I lost 40 pounds on it when I was really strict with it. The thing is that i- it's difficult to be really strict with it, especially we have holidays coming up. Like this is definitely not the time to start keto because you're going to just want to die before the holidays are over. But so anyway, I lost a lot of weight on keto, but I didn't find that I could really maintain it. And so since I've been eating more vegetables with my meat and fruits with my meat, I found that instead of going back to those old sugars and those old carbs that I used to do before keto, what I'm going back to is things like grapes and apples with peanut butter and things where I can still get my sweet tooth satisfied, but that are not loaded with all the crazy stuff that we have in what we call food today at the grocery store. And that has helped me a lot. So I don't know if when your friends are around, you have an option for getting, like a cup of fruit, or even I found like I had really bad chocolate cravings. There's two things that will kill a chocolate craving for me. One is frozen blueberries. I don't like room temperature blueberries at all, but frozen blueberries. And it also helps, like, if you're craving cold, like, if you're craving ice cream and the cold of ice cream, frozen blueberries helps that too, but it also helps with chocolate. And then the other thing that I found that helps with chocolate really well when they're in season is cherries. Frozen blueberries you can get anytime. Cherries, maybe not so much, but both of those help me with chocolate, and it also keeps me from putting a bunch of chemicals in my body that don't need to be there. Well, everybody has their theories about what is good and what is not. Like keto, I don't consider a crash diet. And actually, like my A1C level improved on keto. I had a lot of things that went well when I was on keto, even though it gets a bad rap. So I think we have to be careful about what we label a crash diet, and we have to look at what are actually the health benefits for each diet that we do. But it was just really unsustainable because it cut out the sugars big time. All right, so Kay had a question. Let's get back to Kay's question. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people that are in the medical field don't go for the Atkins diet at all. But my doctor consistently told me my A1C went down when I was on Atkins. I'm like pre-diabetic now, but when I was on Atkins, I was not pre-diabetic. And I felt kick ass, honestly. Let's see. Kay's question. Let me find that question. Will she end up moving to Smith? Because I've got the cards down. I just forgot the question. I've been distracted. Will she end up moving to Smith? Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so, actually. There's some kind of debate going on here. First of all, okay, you have the Four of Pentacles showing up in reverse, which says there's something that disappoints you, but you're looking at the silver lining or the bright side here. So I don't know if this is about the location, if there's something that maybe, I don't know, maybe you need high-speed internet like me and it's not there or something, I don't know. There's a Five of Swords, which can be some kind of argument or debate that happens. So this could be, am I gonna, if I move to Smith's area, how much will I really get to see Smith? And Smith is like, oh, I think, we'll still see each other about once every week or two or something like that. And then you're like, why am I making this huge life change for that? I don't know what it is exactly, but there's some kind of argument or debate coming up here. We've got the Devil card showing up in reverse, which basically says that you're not letting any kind of fear or obsession ruin anything for you. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo-doo. And we have the World card in reverse. This is talking about a cycle that's not completed. So, and then we have the Knight of Cups coming up in reverse. This is there's something about this situation that you don't like. I don't know if you change your mind about how much you like Smith or not, but you may very well change your mind about the idea of moving out to where Smith is. I think you're going to find some things you don't really like about that. Well, I took that wrong because I read it as, where's the question? Will I end up moving to Smith's area instead of mine? Oh, so Smith area is a place. All right. So if you're moving together, yeah, I still don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Boop-a-doo-doo. Think you're going to change your mind about whether you think that's the best thing or not. All right, so that was K. Now we have Joe. Joe, I don't even know what you're saying. I did keto for like 2 years, and my A1C was consistently in a good space for the whole time that I did keto. Trust me, I only have my A1C tested once a year. And I think that's very true. You don't have anything good in life without good health. That's for real. Thank you, Teresa. You have a good day. Jamie's Cowboys. Hello, hello. What is your first name, honey bunny? Boop-a-doo-doo, 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 boop-a-doo-doo. Your name is Jamie. Okay. Yeah, I understand the reason for an A1C test is to check if you're going diabetic or not. I would know that because I've been testing in the pre-diabetic range for like a decade, except for when I was on keto. And I'm testing back in it now that I'm off keto and I'm eating more fruits and vegetables with my meat. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. So let's see. What was Zhao's question? I think you had a question, didn't you? Oh, Isabel. What can you expect from Isabel next year? What can Zhao expect from Isabel next year? Boop-a-da-doo, boop-a-da-doo, boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo. Zhao, just for some context, how is Isabel related to you? Is this like a girlfriend? Is this your sister? What are we actually looking at here? Hello, hello. I think you're already subscribed, aren't you, Jamie? Is this your first live stream? So after Zhao is going to be your question, Jamie. Okay. All right, let's see here. Well, this is really interesting because the first card that we have is the King of Cups, which tells me that this is somebody who I think that you're pretty important to them. But the King of Cups, when they show up, they don't necessarily have to be doing anything or saying anything or communicating. They're just very comfortable with their feelings and they can acknowledge what their feelings are generally speaking. I have seen where they couldn't, but usually that's not the case. Now, we have my Two of Cups coming up in reverse right behind that, which basically says, I'm not so sure I'm that into Zhao anymore. Maybe not. So we've got somebody who's kind of wishy-washy here. They really, 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 really like you. And then not so much. More indifference. Okay. Still, I don't see anything with that calls for any kind of action. Six of Cups coming up in reverse basically says you guys have created some kind of negative memories in their mind, at least, whether you realize that or not. But they've taken some things negatively that have happened. And that may be you guys actually getting together about 6 months from now and creating those negative memories. Because we have the Tower coming up after that, and the Tower after that says this is kind of an explosive type of walk away or breakup type thing. You may not even be together, but you may feel like you just had a breakup with the Tower card coming in. Six of Pentacles talks about paying something off or paying something back. So it may be that, say that you loan this person some money or that, you had left some things at their house. Then this talks about the idea that you're getting all of that back. Like this is wrapping up loose ends and being able to close this thing out after the Tower. There is some time being taken before everything comes back to you that is yours. Well, it's not over yet with the tower because you can't have the tower unless something is going on. And that 6 of cups right in front of it, like, at first, I took that as being in the past. I think you guys are gonna come together, but it's not gonna work out well. I think the breakup's gonna be explosive, and you're gonna get all your stuff back. Now, the other thing is that if you're not getting all your stuff back or you haven't loaned her any money or anything like that, then she could be paying you back. So you definitely wanna watch your karma here and make sure that you treat her well because, we don't want her coming back around to pay you back by slashing your tires or something like that. Well, for, like, the whole Teresa thing, you would wanna schedule an actual reading with me because 'cause I'm only gonna look at one question here on these free live streams. I do offer a one-question reading or a two-question reading that's recorded, or we can do a live reading that's 30 minutes. I also go 45 minutes or an hour. And you can see all that information on my website. It's at amista.info, INFO. Boo ba doo doo doo. Boo ba doo doo. So, Jamie, it's your turn. Let's see. Okay, so before I ask this question, are you sure your friend put a love spell on you? You're quite welcome, Joe. In our reading, we could actually look for best advice as to how to make that last when it comes back around instead of having the Tower card. You think so? That doesn't sound very sure to me. Joe, what are you asking me about? Boo-ba-da-doo. What I'm saying to you, Joe, is that if you wanted to get a reading, because you had that tower showing up in your spread, which says that when you get back together, it's going to be an explosive ending with complete closure and you getting all your stuff back, whether that's revenge or whether that's actual stuff. We could do a reading and look at what is your best advice whenever that comes around to actually make it a more long lasting and happy relationship. Well, let's find out. I just don't think that we should assume that and come in with our next question layered on top of that assumption. I think we should find out if they actually did or not. What's your friend's first name? Their first name is B or their first initial is B? What is their first name? Because when I read, I use names to connect. Bianca. Okay. All right. Did Bianca actually put a love spell on Jamie? Did Bianca actually put a love spell on Jamie? This is a nice solid no. Nice solid no. And here's the other thing. You even thinking that or asking that is something that Bianca was afraid that you would think or that you would ask? Because we've got my Empress card in reverse. This is exactly the opposite of what she wanted to manifest. So did she put a love spell on you? Absolutely not. All right. Looks like I've read for everybody that's in the room. So those of you who like these live readings where you can come in and get a free one question answered, then feel free to go ahead and subscribe, click your notification bell, make sure that you've got notifications turned on your app so that you know next time I go live. Also, check out my weeklies. I've done weekly videos for every sign this week and see what else I have around here that you might enjoy. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.